The Arizona desert on a late and scorching Sunday afternoon. The scene for the heated showdown between longtime rivals. The Dallas Cowboys square off with the Arizona Cardinals from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. We're hoping for the good. These teams showed us the bad and the ugly last week. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. The Dallas Cowboys, it couldn't have been worse for them last week. Slaughtered by the Eagles at home. They lost quarterback Troy Aikman indefinitely with a concussion and receiver Joey Galloway for the season with a knee injury. The Cardinals have to have a fast start. Head coach Vince Tobin in the last year of his contract. A vote on a new stadium comes up in November. And after losing on the road in the opening week, they have 4 of their next 5 at home. The loser of tonight's game is 0-2 in the division. 0-2 is bad. 0-2 is ugly.
Mike, that could be exactly it for Arizona tonight. If they can't stop the run, and they can't run the ball, which is something they couldn't do last year and also in the first game this year, Joe, they have simplified the offense so that they could run the football. And yes, Dallas did give up over 300 yards last week. And they have a makeshift offensive line. I don't think that they can run the ball against Dallas, and I think it's now in the lap of Plummer.
Well, if that's the case, Paul, they're asking Jake Plummer to go out and play flawless football. This is something he has proven he's not been able to do yet. For the Cowboys, Troy Aikman's out. Randall Cunningham had very little work during preseason. You'd think with the quarterback situation the way it is, you've got to do one thing.
Run.
You got an offensive line that is so big that they've done things very well. One thing in particular.
Run.
And you've got Emmitt Smith, who only touched the ball 7 times last week. I think he's got to touch it at least 20 times and do what?
I get it right 3 times. Run. Michael?
Thank you, guys. This just in. It gets real hot out here in the desert. Back to Arizona in a moment. Tune in, log on, speak out. It's Enhanced TV, the online complement to tonight's broadcast. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com now and click the Enhanced TV logo. Before the kickoff, let's go to the sidelines. Our Solomon Wilcots with Dallas head coach Dave Campo.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, after last week's disappointing loss, what problems did you address as you look to improve today?
Well, number one, we had to clean up some things technique-wise on defense against the run, and hopefully we're going to be able to show that tonight. Offensively, we just got to execute our offense. It's a new offense. We just got to come out and do the things that we know how to do.
Now, this offense is old hat for Troy Aikman, but it's still very new for Randall Cunningham. How much of the offense have you had to scale back?
Well, Solomon, we had to scale back a little bit, obviously, from an experience standpoint, but Randall's an experienced quarterback in the league. He feels comfortable with certain things. We're going to try to take advantage of his movement and go from there.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
So while the Cowboys are looking to redeem themselves from last week's devastating loss, they're also looking to put an end to that streak of 7 consecutive losses on the road.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Well, it's getting noticeably cooler. The thermometer now in the shade, we're down to around 118.
Yeah, well, it's no cooler up here, I can tell you that.
Oh, it's very nice. It's that nice dry heat. Last week in Dallas, temperatures on the field on the artificial surface reported anywhere between 140 and 180 degrees. At least it's cooler than that. Micah Noor out of Utah State, the rookie who'd been out of football for 4 years, will kick off. Tommy Bennett, along with Marte Jenkins. Bennett is 28. There's Marte Jenkins. He has blinding speed. A former Dallas draft choice. We are underway in the desert. Marte Jenkins to the 32. The Cowboys offense will have Randall Cunningham for the injured Troy Aikman. Cunningham. Check it. I'm sorry. Jake Plummer, the Cardinal quarterback, now in his 4th year. He is yet to be an impact player that they had hoped. Behind him, Jones and Makovica. Boston, who had a career day last week. Sanders and Hardy, the tight end. Up front, only 2 starters because of injury. At left tackle, Ethan Brooks for Shelton. Joyce, Dishman for Grudadoria. Davids, Garrido, and Clement. Draw play to Jones, the rookie #1 draft choice out of UVA. The Dallas defense up front, Aikman, Lett, Chad Hennings, who is coming off a career-high 92 tackles last year, and Ellis. The linebackers have great speed. Hambrick, Wynn, and Dexter Coakley, a Pro Bowler a year ago. The secondary is a question mark with the rookie Larimore and free agent McNeil. Darren Woodson, the 5-time Pro Bowler, and Teague are at safety. Jones again off the right side. And wrapped up immediately by Dat Wynn. Both of these clubs want to come out grinding it out.
Well, I think for the Cardinals, they have to. It's been a football team that has not had an opportunity to be able to enjoy any success for Vince Tobin running the football.
And the one thing we did know that they kind of scaled down their offense a little bit for Jake so that they can run the football. Even though they have that makeshift offensive line, they still feel that they can run the ball against Dallas.
And Hambrick, the left side linebacker, is the guy who's still down.
Take a look at the right side of your screen. Number 54 winds up getting rolled into. Well, you know, you just see him standing there trying to fight off the block of Makovic. You just can't stand around on a football field. I mean, if you're standing still, there's a good chance you're going to wind up getting yourself nicked.
ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By Toyota, making it happen every day. By Nortel Networks, we're building the new high-performance internet. By Lexmark, passion for printing ideas. And by True Value, where health is just around the corner. Hambrick will walk slowly to the sideline, and Joe Bowden, who was a Super Bowl starter with the Tennessee Titans, will come in his place at the left outside linebacker spot. And now Arizona will go with 2 tight ends, Terry Hardy and Chris Gedney.
And this is a situation where you just got to believe they're going to run the football one more time. They're trying to establish some sense of identity running the ball.
3rd and a yard. Jones got outside. And the 211-pound rookie has the first down.
Dat Wynn was there. Dat Wynn, number 59, was in the backfield, and all he had to do was make the tackle. Now, it's easy to say because Jones is very, very fast, but Dat Wynn reads this thing perfectly, and look at him fill the gap. Inside, misses the tackle. They pick up the first down.
Dallas had a lot of problems last week stopping the run. They said their defensive linemen really messed up on their technique. Plummer. That will be interference on Larimore as he pushed David Boston, who had 2 steps on him.
Mike, you get an interference call, but this should be a touchdown. This is a very poorly thrown ball by Jake Plummer. They go max protection. Boston goes flying by Larimore. This ball is 4 yards underthrown.
First down.
Ron Blum with the call. That's a 37-yard penalty.
Look at how he goes by now. Look at how he has to virtually come to a complete stop to try and make the play.
Boston a week ago, career highs, 9 catches for 128 yards. Back to the ground. Jones. Wrapped up by Aikman that time after a gain of about 3.
Number 96, Aikman.
If they score on this drive, the local newspapers will stop the presses. They have not scored a single point in the last 19 games on the opening drive. Not even a field goal, nothing.
Well, if anything is going to jinx them,
We just did. Yeah.
Well, don't look at me. There's Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator. It is 2nd and 8. 4 runs and a pass so far. Jones. I guess you run the play until they stop it.
Well, the thing about Jones running the football, and the one thing we looked at in film, Thomas Jones is a rookie. Most rookies are very impatient when it comes to trying to pick and choose a hole. In his case, the way they're running this offense out of the eye, they're not giving him a whole lot of options to slow down. I think this is really playing to his strength as a runner.
Well, we watched him last week, and on film, I mean, he was in the wrong space a lot of times.
16 yards on 12 carries a week ago. 3rd and 4. Plummer, shovel pass. fighting for the first down, and they've got it at the 3. And David Boston came from his flanker spot to take the shovel pass.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is an excellent call, Joe.
Well, the thing is what you do is you want to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Watch the left side of your screen. Number 89 lines up in the halfback position. Little shovel pass forward. You see Jake start to roll. Now he plants, comes back underneath. But look at how tough the run is. That's some really darn good running. Izell Reese could not put him on the ground.
1st and goal for the Cardinals. Jones to the 1, to the goal line, and then pushed back. He'll be about a foot short.
You know, something always happens when you have a makeshift line, and we talked about this. Here's an offensive line that have 2 guys in their normal position, Matt Joyce and Clement. The only 2 guys, the left guard and the right tackle. Everyone else is different. Theismann had really never played center until a week ago. But these guys have taken it upon themselves. They're kind of a unique group. They're going to get the job done.
Tight formation, 2nd and goal. Jones. Oh, he lost a couple. Drilled from the corner as the safety Woodson came up and put a hat on.
Oh, Darren Woodson, you talk about playing safety. I'm telling you, you're not worried at all about pass. And then Darren Woodson, I mean, he fills the hole to the outside. He just slams it. Here they come. Look at the left-hand side of your screen, and watch Woodson. He just stops it dead, and that was for about a yard loss.
See, I think here now you go play action. I think you have the Cowboys convinced that you want to run the football. Jake's got a lot of mobility. You put him on the edge.
3 tight ends in the game. Jones, nothing. Now a decision to be made for Vince Tobin.
No decision. You kick the field goal. Absolutely.
You know, Joe, I agree with the fact when you're talking about running play action, but I think what they're doing is that we're not going to make any mistakes down here. We want to get a field goal.
This would be the first time they scored in the opening drives in 20 games.
Joe Bowden, number 58, does a terrific job of playing off the block and then making the tackle.
Veteran Kerry Blanchard comes on to try a 19-yard field goal. He was brilliant with the Giants in a fill-in role last year, 18 of 21. 1-1 this year for Arizona. And they've broken the streak and broken on top against the Dallas Cowboys. 3-0 Cardinals. Good drive for the Cardinals, 67 yards, 37 coming on the pass interference call, and the first time since 1998 that they have scored a point on the opening drive. Got to put a smile on Vince Tobin's face.
Well, I heard the in-house announcer say, you're all right, you can applaud in the first quarter. I forgot how to do that. Look at Dallas is looking for the onside kick.
Well, they saw it last week against Philadelphia. And Blanchard will kick it away. Jason Tucker from the 16. Hemmed in and taken down just across the 30. We've played almost 6 minutes in the desert. 3-0 Cardinals. Troy Aikman in civvies. Those are some ugly numbers that he had put up against him in the opening quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles last week. Sacked 3 times on the first series. He had only been sacked 3 times, never in a quarter. And he sacked 3 times on the first series. The first quarter, he'd never been sacked 3 times. They got that record out of the way in a hurry. Dallas out of the eye. Emmett on the toss. To the 36. Cowboys offense will have Randall Cunningham for the injured Troy Aikman. He is only 2 years removed from his MVP year with the Vikings. The backs, Emmitt Smith, who should be a workhorse tonight after only 7 carries last week. Thomas, the fullback, the receivers, Ismail and McKnight, LaFleur, the tight end. Up front, size and talent. Adams, the great Larry Allen with 5 straight Pro Bowls, Stepnoski, Page, and Williams. Emmett Tillman up in the safety spot, picks up a couple. For Arizona's defense, a patchwork job up front. Sears, McCoy, Mark Smith hoping to return to his 98 form, and Otis. The linebackers, Thompson, McKinnon, and Rod Fredrickson, an every down player in an age of specialization. The secondary has talent, especially Aeneas Williams, who has made 6 straight Pro Bowls. Knight, Tillman, and Lassiter round out the starters. 3rd and 2 for the Cowboys, opening possession. They fake the end around, give it to Emmett, and Sears is right there to swallow him up.
Boy, they tried to run to Eric Williams' side, number 79, the right tackle, and they just stuffed it.
Corey Sears, who eats an entire lemon before a game because he really gets nervous. He said it calms his stomach. He looks fine right now.
Yeah, and I also talked to him about that, and he said it also puts him in a frame of mind to be nasty. Something on a lemon would, too.
You want to be nasty, just stand out in the sun for a half an hour.
Eats the whole up.
Micah Noor will kick to Matt Cody. He waits at his own 15. Nice high floater. Cody will let it go. And the Cowboys, nice job on special teams. Brazel put it down to the 5. He saw it was going to take a Dallas bounce and let it go. That got him 3 or 4 more yards. A beautiful 58-yard punt. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam. That is Sedona, a couple of hours away from where we are in Tempe, right outside of Phoenix. I'll bet it is.
It's hot there. Hot everywhere.
Boy, play action pass. Go for the big one.
Now he's supposed to say that, isn't he? Starting in a hole from their own 2. Jones. Well, when you run out of the eye like that, and you have to make that handoff in the end zone, that's got to scare you a little bit.
Well, it's got to be scary for the Dallas Cowboy defense. We saw what Arizona tried to do on the first drive, but certainly when you look at these numbers, last week 306 yards, first team to allow 300 yards at home since '87, the most in team history. Didn't go over very well with Jerry Jones. But the thing that you have to wonder about, Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, what is the psyche of his defense being run on possibly again?
Hillman comes in to get a carry.
You know, that's 14 plays they run between the 2 teams, and 13 of them are running plays.
I think this is a very critical situation for Jake Plummer. He's been prone to make mistakes. If you're going to take this type of offensive approach, then what's going to happen is it's going to fall on the shoulders of the quarterback to convert the 3rd and 3s and the 3rd and 4s. And he's got to prove that he can do that to make this style of offense efficient.
Plummer facing in 3rd and 4 here, split back. Jones on the little inside track goes nowhere.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't make the tackle, but number 78, Leon Lett, was in the backfield. He gets an arm on Jones. He doesn't make the tackle, but he messes up the play. Number 78 on the left side of your screen. Look at this. He goes down the line. They don't even touch him.
That's pretty quick.
Woo.
And then Ecubon cleaned it up. Scott Player will kick to McGarity. Cowboys should have good field position out of this. There's a marker down. McGarity midfield looking for a block. Another flag is down. McGarity out of bounds at the 35. Will check the penalty.
Well, I know the one down here around the 45-yard line. That's Dallas.
Preliminary signal is a hold on Arizona, so this might be a wash.
Probably illegal block in the back on the return.
Ron Blum talking it over with his officiating crew. That was a 47-yard punt and a pretty 21-yard return.
Joe Avisano wearing out his gums.
Probably went through a pack after the opening kickoff last week. And Hank Coleman special teams and kicking coach, and he has done a remarkable job trying to get this ball club together.
I'll tell you one thing, when you're on special teams and it's as hot as it is here, your players saying, don't make any mistakes. We don't want to do this over again.
I still think that's one of the areas that gets exposed early in the year, because it's so hard to find some sense of continuity on your special teams through the preseason, because you're running so many people through it, looking at rookies, looking at new players and free agents. Okay, now that we know what happened,
now what?
What's going to happen now?
Well, Dallas has 23 people on the field. They've got a bunch over there by the bench, and then they got a bunch out here.
Everybody is pleading their case.
Now, what'll happen is, what I think Dave Campo is doing is saying, look, we can make them kick again, or we can take the ball where it is and wind up with the penalty.
2 fouls, holding 39 of the kicking team, illegal block in the back on the receiving team, number 93, number 93. Those penalties offset by rule, re-kick, replay, 4th down.
NFL Countdown every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Join Chris Berman and the gang for the NFL's best pregame show. Then at 7:30, all the highlights on prime time.
And the overthrow is picked up by Sam Dolly Madison from Louisville.
So I guess the way it turns out, the play never happened, and I guess the ensuing arguments by coaches never happened either. They'll do it again.
Oh, good kick.
It's a beauty. Hangs up from McGarity. Slips a tackle. Slips another. Player to beat. McGarity. Touchdown. 67 yards, no flag.
Scott Player is the punter and is the only guy, last that has a chance. But look at this play. McGarity, watch this here. He runs into his own man, but once he gets to the outside, Player is lost. He can't reach to the guy. What you have to do is pin him to the sidelines and hope that your guys can get there.
Dave Campo, who had virtually nothing go his way in the opener against the Eagles, showing tremendous emotion on the sideline. Tim Cedar for the point after. And the Cowboys strike on special teams. Log on to NFL.com and get complete recaps from all of the day's games. McGarity, who had the big punt return, broke a couple of tackles and puts the Cowboys ahead.
2 of the tackles he broke were by his own men. Trying to knock him down.
He ran into a few folks. Knorr to kick. Cody and Bennett are deep. There's Bennett, the up man. Left footer gets a good one. Matt Cody from the 1. Izell Reese slipped a block and made the tackle. Timeout on the field. 4:24 to go. First quarter. The Cardinals, trailing the Cowboys 7-3, will take over at their own 19-yard line. They have thrown the ball twice tonight. One bomb, which resulted in an interference call, then a shovel pass. Other than that, it's been run with football. Jones is the tailback. Play action Clement. Hardy, the tight end, wide open. Taken out of bounds by Hamrick. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, before the game, I talked to Dallas special teams coach Joe Avezzano, and he told me that when they lost Joey Galloway for the season, they really took a two-way hit. Not only did they lose a wide receiver in the offense, but they lost their punt returner on special teams. Now, he said, we just need someone to step it up in either area. Little did he know that Wayne McGarity would step up so soon here in the first quarter with a 64-yard return for a touchdown.
Solomon, didn't he ever? And McGarity gives him a lot of depth at wide receiver as well. Plummer, short set. Gedney, the tight end, up near the 30. He should have a first down. Gedney is a walking tribute to modern medicine. In the spring of '99, he had major surgery to remove his colon. He had to wear a colostomy bag to capture his body's waste. Then he had more surgery, as Gedney put it, to reconnect the plumbing. It was a success, but by then he'd lost 40 pounds. What would you do with the rest of your life? He tried a comeback, and he has made it. It's a remarkable story. Plummer. Jones out of the backfield near another first down. So the first series they come out almost strictly running the ball. This one they come out and they're throwing it.
Well, if you're going to get him away from that 7-man defensive line, Joe, you've got to throw the ball.
And that's the only way you can do it, is set short, be patient, and that's the one thing we saw in preseason from Jake, not last week, but here so far in the game. Did a nice job of not trying to force the ball down the field. If they can continue to run the football and force the Cowboys to bring those safeties up to try and stop the run, they'll have shots at deep ones down the field again. In the meantime, if they want to go cover 2, he can hit the tight ends and the backs in the middle.
Gedney has a T-shirt that laughs at his own condition. It says, "No guts, still glory." Well, there should be more on the back. More courage than you could imagine. It's a guy you really want to root for. Here's the T-shirt.
I mean, what does he say to everyone out there that feels sorry for themselves? I mean, here's a guy playing pro football after this happens.
Jones lost the ball. Dallas has it.
You know, Jones loses this ball, but I'm going to show you 3 dumb guys on Dallas. One of them ends up getting the ball. But to reach down in a crowd and try to pick up the ball when you need the ball back, you're a struggling football team. Dive on the football. Here comes Jones, 26 up into the hole. Now he just, watch this. He loses the ball. He gets stripped. Now watch these guys. They're all of them going to try to pick it up.
Chad
Dive
Henning.
on the ball.
Chad Henning did a good job. Watch him reach in from the left side of your screen. He just reaches in, knocks it out of Thomas Jones's hands, and then you're right, Paul. Coakley, Ecubon winds up with it, or Ellis, excuse me, winds up with it, but they sure should have pounced on it early.
Big break for Dallas. They have it at the Cardinal 40. Cunningham rifles one complete out to the 35-yard line. Tom Knight makes the tackle on James McKnight.
I talked to Jack Riley, the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, and what he wants to do is he wants to get Randall comfortable with plays that he's familiar with. They went back to 1998, there he is on the left, and studied stuff that Randall did well. Had communication with him. He likes hitches. He likes to throw the ball down the field. Look for him to stay short early.
Emmett cuts it back. He lost it. Corey Sears was on the bottom of the pile, and he has it.
You know, it's one of those things when you're a running back and you're trying to get more. When we talked to Emmett how much he fired up his football team after the loss, he said we have to do more. All right, he's already got the first down. He's just trying to do more. Look at the moves he makes. Lassiter, 42, gets his hand in, knocks the ball away. That's just an outstanding tackle. That's not having control of the football.
It was going so well for Dave Campo, and they turn it over after they get a gift fumble on the other side.
Going so well for about a minute and a half.
And the usually reliable Emmitt Smith. The ball wasn't hit by a helmet, just a hand.
It's like Groundhog Day. We're right back where we were 5 minutes ago.
action by Plummer. Incomplete and a big hit on defense. We pay tribute to a legend next week on Sunday Night Football as the Dolphins retire Dan Marino's number 13 and place his name on their roll of honor. We'll cover the entire ceremony at halftime as Miami hosts Baltimore at 8:30 Eastern. Was Tony Banks thinking about
he did
Marino-like numbers for the Ravens today?
He did a Marino impression.
5-touchdown pass. Pittman. Lett covers him up at the 35.
You see now Michael Pittman in the game. Thomas Jones is on the bench. Sears with the recovery. Thomas Jones sitting down now. Pittman actually is the one that is the veteran. He has the 3 years of experience and the more complete back at this stage right now.
Jones, the rookie out of Virginia. Last 4 carries for him, 0 yards, and that fumble. Marte Jenkins into the lineup, 4 wide receivers for Arizona. Plummer with time, and he's got the completion. Matt Cody still on his feet in the Dallas territory. Gain of 19, his second catch of the year.
The one thing that jumped out at me as we studied the film of the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles last week was how poor the Cowboys tackled. And I think you're going to see the same thing here again. Cody just takes a little quick out. Now he starts to run. There's one missed tackle. There's another missed tackle. The Cowboys have not done a very good job with their secondary of tackling.
Plummer, play action, Tillman. He lost it. Pittman lost it. And the Cardinals appear to have gotten it back. Big break for Arizona.
Larimore has the ball, number 41, but he tried to do the same thing the other guys did. He tried to pick it up and run with the ball. I mean, what are you going to have to learn? You don't pick a fall on the ball.
Had a chance at a couple of other easy turnovers. Club's not able to convert. Ended the first quarter 7-3. For Dallas last week, a crushing defeat at the hands of the Eagles. Troy Aikman out indefinitely with that concussion. Galloway goes down for the year. That's a heck of a way to start a season with 2 stars going down.
Well, you still have your offensive line intact, you know, and these are the mainstays of this football team. Because the one thing the Dallas Cowboys really love to do more than anything else is run the football, Joe.
Well, the other thing, too, is you lose Troy Aikman, but you have Randall Cunningham to fill in. You lose Joey Galloway, you've got James McKnight. If something would happen to LaFleur, who missed an awful lot of training camp, you bring in an O.J. Santiago and a Harris. So what you wind up with is maybe you don't have the stars, but you obviously have some people who can fill in, hopefully, and do a pretty good job.
And they tell us no timetable on Troy's return. Boston on the quick hits. He lost it, got it back. Go to Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, before the game, I talked to Troy Aikman, and I asked him if he was still experiencing any symptoms from the concussion he sustained last week. He says, you know what? He actually is. He's experiencing headaches and nausea, and he says he doesn't know when he'll be back to play. He said right now he'll take it day to day, and on Monday he'll meet with the doctors and the coaches to ascertain as to whether or not he'll be able to play next week against the Washington Redskins on Monday night. As far as retirement, he says he's 33 and he's going to give himself full time to recover, then he's going to come back and play.
All right, Solomon, thanks. Here's Pittman. Nice stutter step to go outside. Flag is down as he got close to a first down. Pittman has good speed and excellent size at 216.
Well, Pittman has good size. Pepe Zellner, number 93, is playing a defensive outside right end. And if the linebackers are going inside, he's got to get outside, and I think he's the guy that was held.
Holding 89 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
When you get holding called on a wide receiver, you appreciate the effort. Of course, David Boston being in his second year, to me, a wide receiver getting caught holding.
Wait. You appreciate the effort?
Yeah, but come on. I do appreciate the effort.
Yeah. I appreciate you marked us off 10 yards.
So it's back to the 39. Sanders, Boston, and Jenkins the wideouts for Plummer. Dumps it up, Pittman. Oh, man. Drilled as he got to the 35. McNeil hit him low, and Dexter Coakley unloaded.
You know, this is what you really like to see as a corner come up. We saw that last week in Buffalo, but watch this. When the corner comes up, and that's McNeil, excuse me, number 47, he goes down low. Now watch Dexter Coakley, 52. He labels him up high. That's a solid tackle.
Datwin, the middle linebacker, still on the ground. Second-year play out of Texas A&M. We'll check on him when we come back. 13:37 to go. Second quarter of play. Arizona 2nd and 11 in Dallas territory. Plummer wide open. Boston taken out of bounds. Larimore was 5 yards away when he caught that ball.
Well, Dallas ran a blitz, and they sent everybody, and that left Larimore out by himself, one-on-one on Boston.
And I think Jake Plummer did a nice job. He has a free runner coming at him off the right side. You see McNeil come in. The ball isn't pretty, but you don't get it for style points. Boston makes the catch. He gives him either end to wind up catching on. Here comes McNeil outside. Jake does a nice job of delivering the ball and then ducking.
First down, Cardinals. Bootleg. Plummer throws. Hardy, the tight end. Hardy inside the 1. What an effort by Terry Hardy.
Hardy, I mean, he just makes a great. Darren Woodson, number 28, is going to come up. Watch Hardy's footwork. Is keeping your balance. Here's Hardy with the catch. Here's Woodson down on the ground, and Hardy up in the air, comes down on the 1-yard line.
Ball winds up coming out, but it would have been the ground causing the fumble as he hits.
But look at the agility, though, to just maintain your balance.
First and goal, 3 tight ends. Pittman, the deep man. Pittman. Touchdown.
Michael Pittman decides you can't go low, you got to go high. Remember, all that has to happen is the ball crossed the line. Yes, it did. Gets that ball away from his body and winds up getting it just across the goal line.
Vince Tobin, in the last season of his contract, he wants the same kind of year he had 2 seasons ago when they made the playoffs. Terry Blanchard, your Scott player to hold. And the Arizona Cardinals, with Pittman capping it off, take a 10-7 lead. 12:05 to go in the half, and the Dallas Cowboys have only run 5 offensive plays in this game for a grand total of 17 yards, and they've had it for less than 3 minutes. Still, they're within 3 points.
You can't continue to leave your defense out on the field as much as they have.
Jason Tucker. Deep to take the kick from the 4. Hemmed in at the 20. Emmitt Smith has cracked the 14,000-yard barrier, only the 3rd player ever to do it. He trails only Walter Payton and Barry Sanders in the history of the National Football League in rushing. His goal, Walter Payton. He has 14,003 yards, needs just over 2,700 to do it. As his career average is 90 yards a game, right now he would make it in the last game next year.
Not if he has games like he did last week.
No. Last week, 7 carries, 29 yards. Emmitt behind Thomas. Spins outside, gets to the 24. Our enhanced Interactive poll tonight. Will Emmett break Walter Payton's all-time NFL rushing record? Vote yes or no on Enhanced TV.
You know what I liked about talking to Emmett yesterday? The first thing he said, though, when we talked to him about records, he said, I would like to get this team back to the Super Bowl first. Then I would like to break the record.
Cunningham with plenty of time, throws to McKnight to the 31 and across our 1st and 10 line. You have voted. The results are in. Let's take a look. Will Emmett break it? 2/3 almost say yes.
Who would say no?
The guys that don't want him to.
Are they the same people that 2 years ago said he couldn't play football anymore, that he was washed up possibly?
There was a lot of that, wasn't there?
Yep.
Far from being washed up. We had 3,871 people vote so far. Thank you. If he stays healthy, he'll break it.
Aeneas Williams is grabbing his arm, his hand.
And they can ill afford to lose the 6-time Pro Bowler. Tied for 7th active in career interceptions. He has 41. Great player, great guy.
He really is. You know, the thing, we'll go back just for a second to the Walter Payton thing. Yeah, those 38%, those are people that really don't want to ever see that record broken because of who Walter Payton was. But every record is made to be broken.
And Emmett reveres Walter Payton.
Yes, he does.
I mean, virtually every player in this league reveres Walter Payton for what he did. LaFleur and Harris, 2 tight ends. We'll check in Aeneas Williams for you. Emmett, nice hole. Emmett Smith to the 44.
The Arizona Cardinals decide they want to roll the corners up and play the safeties back. That gives Emmett an opportunity to run the ball inside. There's no safety support right away. All this offensive line has to do is block the guys up front. You see no safety. There goes Tillman to the middle of the field. By the time Emmett's 12 yards downfield, a safety shows up.
This is a patchwork defensive line. Wadsworth is still out. Simeon Rice just came back. Cunningham 3 for 3. Hits the rocket for 9.5 yards.
The offensive line that time, I mean, when Cunningham has that kind of time to throw the ball, you're going to have to find somebody open. That offensive line just kept the defensive line right at the line of scrimmage. There was no penetration whatsoever.
I don't think Dave McGinnis can afford to just try and rush 4. He's going to have to get 8 people around the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have to not only concern themselves with Emmett running with the football, but also Randall Cunningham.
And they get the ice on Aeneas Williams. Cunningham under pressure, bombs away. McKnight, touchdown.
Whoa.
Yards. He can still chuck it, can't he?
Corey Chavis, number 25, is in for Aeneas Williams. All this is play action, max protect, and let McKnight go. This is what they had hoped they would get from him a year ago before he got hurt. This is what they're going to need from him now that Joey Galloway is down. He will be their speed guy.
Tore up a knee in camp in '99, and he can fly. Cedar for the point after. An immediate impact with Aeneas Williams on the sideline. And Cunningham, who came on in relief of Troy Aikman a week ago, has 2 touchdown passes this season. 2 years ago, he was the MVP in the NFL. All-Pro Aeneas Williams going to the locker room with 9:04 to go first half. He's got the ice bag on his left wrist. This is Micah Knorr, who is set to kick to Marte Jenkins. Beautiful kickoff. Jenkins a yard deep will bring it out. Jenkins to the 34.
Aeneas comes up to make a tackle on Emmett. Or McKnight, excuse me, comes up the other end. See, watch his left wrist. He gets it wrapped around. Now watch the left side of your screen. You're going to see right there, Rob Fredrickson comes in and puts a hit on McKnight. And unfortunately, Aeneas's left wrist was in the way. And subsequently, he goes out. Corey Chavis goes in. And now McKnight just runs by him. And a perfectly thrown ball by Randall Cunningham.
Corey Chavis said, who was that masked man? Listen by me. Plummer, flush. They got it.
From behind, Pepe Zellner out of Fort Valley State.
Well, you know, it's hard to run a play-action pass to a rookie when the rookie goes on the wrong side where you're faking the ball. And that's what happens on this play. Thomas Jones goes on the wrong side, so it didn't hold anybody. And then Pepe Zellner. When you look at this play, watch the fake. No, look at, he's faking here, and the back's on his left. So Pepe Zellner, he never even slows down 93 and goes right into Jake.
Well, Paul, that was a draw fake. So, I mean, he did go on the correct side, but you're right. It didn't really help a whole lot.
Now the draw, Jones. Battered at the 25. Let's go to the sideline. Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, Aeneas Williams has been taken into the locker room. He has a bruised left wrist. He's going in for x-rays right now. His return is questionable. But after Corey Chavis was beaten for the touchdown, many of the coaches and the players, including Vince Tobin, came over very quickly to see if Aeneas Williams was indeed okay. But much to their dismay, he's being taken into the locker room. They want him back in the game, obviously.
Corey Chavis out of Vanderbilt, who was the third corner, now the second corner. Plummer under pressure, ducks, but they get him eventually. Leon Lett and Ekubon were right there.
This is where that patchwork offensive line you talked about starts to really come into play. It's tough to communicate when these guys put their ears back and want to come flying. Ebenezer Ekubon, all they're doing is they're just rushing for. You see number 96 come around the corner, and then here comes company.
Ethan Brooks, in his second game ever at left tackle tonight, was beaten on that pass rush. Player to kick to McGarity. McGarity from the 46. And is swallowed up by Gerald Barrett. He got a free ride on kick coverage. A 38-yard punt, a loss of 1 on the return. These overhead shots of Camelback Mountain are provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam. Nice to have you guys with us out in the desert. Chris Warren has checked in at tailback for the Dallas Cowboys. And around the rocket. And he didn't have a chance because Fredrickson came up from the right side linebacker spot and cut him down.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, if you're going to run a reverse, you don't run a reverse to the experienced linebacker's side. You go away from this guy. Fredrickson has been in this game a long time. Watch him sit. He's waiting. He makes the read. He gets in the backfield for the loss. That's outstanding play.
Simeon Rice is checked in at that right defensive end spot. The holdout who would play in the nickel tonight, a two-time Pro Bowler, 16.5 sacks last year. Cunningham flushed and slides in at the 47. Simeon Rice, during his holdout, called Phoenix the armpit of the NFL. When he reported the other day, he said, "I am the deodorant." Not too many people in the front office smiled when he said it, and he was terribly unapologetic about the things he said while he held out.
Yeah, but his teammates are glad he's back because they finally get some speed on the outside. Bob Ferguson, the GM, I'm sure has mixed emotions. He gets a football player back, but you got to wonder if it's been disruptive.
Cunningham throws complete down to the 34. McKnight with a catch in front of Chavis.
Well, that time, they had Simeon Rice in the game, and he's trying to rush up the middle. He can't.
McKnight just pushing Chavis back. He realizes he beat him deep before, Now he gives him a big cushion. Such a big cushion, he's not even in the picture.
This is what I'm talking about, Simeon Rice. He got all those sacks from outside. Look at that. Try to go up in the middle on Page. Page just threw him out of the backfield. Get out of here.
Rice only about 260. He's not going to get by Page on a bull rush. Cunningham into the flat. Thomas, the fullback. What a nice effort there by Sears, chasing it down from behind the defensive end.
You notice the rhythm that Randall Cunningham is in. Jack Riley's doing a nice job giving him plays where he can get the ball off quickly. I'd say 6 for 6 is a pretty good rhythm. But he's getting back, even in the drop back, 5 steps, get rid of the football. This is what Jack envisioned for this offense last week when Troy was running.
Jason Tucker, number 87, is the wide receiver. Chris Warren, McKinnon, and a flag is down. McKinnon, the middle linebacker out of North Alabama, had over 200 tackles last year for this franchise. And this is a hold against Dallas. Ron Blum talking it over with his crew.
Holding, 88 offense, 10 yards, repeat.